We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, text 37. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha Mahaashno Mahapapma Vidhi Enam Iha Verinam. So yesterday Arjun asked Krishna, why? What is it that impels a person as if unwillingly? What impels him to sinful activities? And here Sri Bhagwan is telling him what it is. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. So Sri Bhagwan Uvacha, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Vyasadeva, who has compiled the Bhagavad Gita, who has recorded the Bhagavad Gita, always refers to him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which leaves no doubt in our mind that the Supreme Lord is a person and his name is Krishna. And he's the one who's speaking the Bhagavad Gita, and that's the reason the Bhagavad Gita has so much value. It's so important that it is read and studied even today. And he's saying that it is lust only, O Arjuna, which is born of the contact with the material mode of passion. So we hear the purport. When a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust in association with the mode of passion. So we each are living entities. We souls, we are all living entities. And then all of us have eternal love for Krishna. It's not only that, oh, people born in a particular country have love for Krishna and others don't in their heart originally. No, each of us, each living entity. Right now, maybe we may be in bodies of trees or animals or human beings, but each of us are living entities and we all have this eternal love for Krishna. But what has happened? Because we are here in this material world, in contact with the material world, this love that we have is transformed into lust. How? Because of the mode of passion, the desire to enjoy, the desire to control. That is why. Or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust as milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt. So milk, when we put some sour thing in it, it becomes yogurt. So similarly, our pure love now, because in this material world, with this mode of passion, the desire to be separate from Krishna, that love has been transformed to lust. Then again, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. So what happens when we have a desire? We have a strong desire to achieve something. We want to get something. But when we are not able to get it, what happens? We get angry. That's wrath. Because our desire to get it is so much and we are not able to get it, we become angry. Then what happens when we are angry? Wrath is transformed into illusion. Because of this anger, then we are in illusion. I'm the body, I didn't get it. Oh, I'm so frustrated. We just get muddled up in our feelings. The illusion, it becomes deeper on the body level. And then illusion continues the material existence. In that way, we continue thinking we are the body and we continue living here in the material world. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity. And it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in the material world. So it is this lust, this desire. Now we might say lust is only a sexual desire. No, lust is any desire separate than Krishna. Our desire to enjoy separate than Krishna in any form or manner. That is lust. And this is the reason why we, the pure living entity, we are all pure, we are all souls. But because of this desire, we continue in this material world, entangled. Wrath is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. So wrath, anger, what is that? Ignorance. It's a mode of ignorance when we get angry. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and other corollaries. If, therefore, the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual attachment. So what is the proposal? Because when we are in the mode of passion, we have desire. Then it's not fulfilled, we get angry. So that goes into ignorance. Then with ignorance, we are in illusion and keeps us here. The proposal is elevate the consciousness, come to the mode of goodness. Why? Because at least at the point of mode of goodness, then we can transcend. We can come to the mode of pure goodness. Pure goodness. And so like that, we can get out of this material world. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expanded himself into many for his ever-increasing spiritual bliss, and the living entities are parts and parcels of this spiritual bliss. So where are we coming from? We are coming from Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expanded himself into many for his ever-increasing spiritual bliss. He wants us to be happy. He wants himself to be happy. He wanted to have a loving relationship with us. It's like, why does a father have a child? Why? Why does he want to have a child? So that he can have a loving relationship with the child. The father enjoys being with the child, and the father feels so happy when the child is happy, So in that way, so we are parts and parcels of Krishna. So then what happened? They also have partial independence, but by misuse of their independence, when the service attitude is transformed into the propensity for sense enjoyment, they come under the sway of lust. So Krishna is supremely independent. Krishna is supremely independent. And because we are his parts and parcels, we have his qualities to very minute degrees, tiny. So we also have independence, but our independence is partial. We have a choice whether we want to be with Krishna or we don't want to. And so we chose to enjoy separate than Krishna. We say, why should I be an instrument for Krishna's enjoyment? I want to enjoy by myself. And then this is lust. This is lust. That we are misusing our independence. We are choosing to enjoy our body, enjoy this material world through the body. And that is lust. That's how it gets transformed. Each of us has this original service attitude because we are all Krishna's parts and parcels. We are coming from him. So we do have this love for him, the service attitude to him, but we just misuse our independence. This material creation is created by the Lord to give facility to the conditioned souls to fulfill these lustful propensities. And when completely baffled by prolonged lustful activities, the living entities begin to inquire about their real position. So Krishna said, okay, we have a desire to enjoy separate from him. So he made this material world. He's made this for us, a facility to pretend that, yes, I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the owner. We think these things, but actually, factually, we are not. But by this agency of the material world, by the agency of Maya, we believe these things. And then what happens? But what's the purpose? Krishna wants us to come back home. So then, when we really get frustrated, I'm trying to enjoy, I'm trying to control, I'm trying to be the supreme, but it's not working. What's happening? Who is in charge? Who am I actually? And who is actually in charge? When we get frustrated, then we come to this point, inquire about the real position. This inquiry is the beginning of the Vedanta Sutras, wherein it is said, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. One should inquire into the Supreme. So Vedanta Sutra begins with the aphorism, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. One should inquire into the Supreme. One should, the choice of word is should. It is our duty to come to the point to understand what's happening. Who is really in charge? I thought I'm in charge, but seems like not. Let me try to find out. This is what Vedanta Sutra is saying. And the Supreme is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam as Janmadi Asya Yato Anvayad Itarascha. Then what is Bhagavatam saying? Janmadi Asya Yato Anvayad Itarascha, or the origin of everything is the Supreme Brahman. That was Bhagavatam saying. The origin of everything is the Supreme Brahman. Therefore, the origin of lust is also in the Supreme. If therefore lust is transformed into love for the Supreme, or transformed into Krishna consciousness, or in other words, desiring everything for Krishna, then both lust and wrath can be spiritualized. So the origin of all origin is in Krishna. There is nothing that does not originate in Krishna. So lust is there in Supreme. But now, what happened? Where does this lust come from? Because this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So the original love has been transformed into lust, because this is the perverted reflection. Now we have to bring it back to the original state. How do we do that? The original love for the Supreme Lord, that is Krishna consciousness, desiring everything for Krishna. That is love. That is our true position. Hanuman, the great servitor of Lord Rama, exhibited his wrath by burning the golden city of Rama, but by doing so, he became the greatest devotee of the Lord. Here also in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord induces Arjuna to engage his wrath upon his enemies for the satisfaction of the Lord. Therefore, lust and wrath, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, become our friends instead of our enemies. So Hanuman, he got angry, so he burnt Lanka. He burnt Lanka because he got angry. But that anger is not the mode of ignorance. That is out of his love for Lord Ramachandra. He acted in anger. Then here now, Krishna is also asking Arjuna to get angry and fight. So this Arjuna's anger in fighting the battle is not the mode of ignorance, because he's doing it out of his love for Krishna. So what about we? Can we say, I'm going to get angry because, and then I can become lusty and wrath and become Krishna conscious? No, we are not on the liberated platform. We have to understand where we are coming from. Where are we coming from? So we need to give up this anger and lust that we have. Of course, we can try to get angry at our own, that why am I still here in the material world? What am I doing? Let me try to become Krishna conscious. Let me try to understand what it is. Let me really try to follow what the devotees are trying to tell me, So, and then purify that. Purify. Anger is a negative emotion. It's a negative. We should pray to get rid of this. And the more we hear and chant, the more we hear and chant, then we are able to give up the anger. And because instead of anger, we can motivate ourselves. No, I need to do it. I should do it. Because anger still, because it's negative, it puts us down. But if we can say, no, let me actually try to hear what the devotees are saying. And let me actually try to follow it. And then the goal looks so good. And so that becomes a motivator. We get motivated. So that's why it's good to give up anger. We can pray to Krishna, please help me to give up this anger that I have. Chant. Whenever we find ourselves angry, just pick up the beads and just chant and chant and chant. Prabhupada would say that when when you're getting angry, you go away, go down, pick up your japa beads, go for a walk or something, and just start chanting. And then you approach the situation with a clearer consciousness. And it does help. It does help. Is that okay? Were there any comments or anything to add or share? If no, then we'll stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.